YouTube. My name is Rachel Mayo. Welcome to my channel and thank you for being here. I'm going to be discussing the aspects and the effects of the new moon that's happening in Cancer on the 9th of July. This new moon is happening at 18 degrees of Cancer. This new moon will be making a positive sextile aspect to Uranus at 14 degrees of Taurus. It will also make another positive trine to the planet Neptune at 23 degrees of Pisces. Neptune is transiting retrograde at this time. These aspects might be the solution to some of the problems that we're going to face, some of the challenges that are going to come up as a result of some of the aspects in this lunation. I encourage you to watch the whole video because at the end of this video, I have an extra bonus, especially if you're single. There is a special conjunction of Venus and Mars happening next week on the 13th of July. So if you're single and looking for a partner, pay attention. This is the type of rare transit that could bring you a soulmate or a twin flame. This could be the beginning of your true love story. So watch until the end of this video so that you can prepare and know when to be out there. Your soulmate might just be out there looking for you. Back to the new moon. This new moon is asking you to examine your deep emotions, your emotional foundation. Those emotions that you suppress are probably going to come up at this new moon, and you may have to deal with them. In this discussion, I'm going to explain the aspects, the degrees that are highlighted and activated at this lunation. You need to use this information to find out what's really going on with your own personal chart. So if you don't have a natal birth chart, I suggest you go to astro.com to get your free natal birth chart. This way you'll be able to understand and follow along. Cancer is a sign that rules the natural fourth house of the zodiac. So there will be new beginnings in our homes, with our family, with our deep emotions, our emotional foundation, and with our mother or our ancestors. The moon is the ruler of the fourth house and the zodiac sign of Cancer. It can symbolize the mother, our emotions, our childhood conditioning, and what we need to feel secure on a deep emotional level. What is it that completes you on a soul type emotional level? This is the house of true happiness. Unfortunately, this is the house that also rules family karmas and perhaps some family curses. For example, if the women in your family never got married and never had children, this might just be the new moon when you decide to make some changes in your personal life because you don't want to keep that karma. You don't want to become part of the family statistics. So you're going to be proactive in breaking this curse or karma. You may decide, I'm not going to let this happen to me, so I'm going to be proactive about finding a marriage partner or a partner to start a family with. This might be the new moon that pushes you to this decision. So if you've been having problems in your relationships or in your marriage, or perhaps your business partnerships, things are going to come to a head because her emotions can no longer be suppressed, especially if there was some type of lies or deceptions happening in your relationships or your business partnerships. The Cancer new moon has some positive aspects that are going to help us deal with whatever challenges that may come up as the result of this major T-square that's happening between Saturn in Aquarius, Uranus in Taurus, and is being activated by transiting Mars in the sign of Leo. Venus is also going to later come and activate this T-square. Relationships and money issues are going to get really intense, especially a few days after this lunation. We're pretty much stuck with this energy for the rest of the year. It's the slower moving planets like Mars and Venus that will reactivate this T-square. So if you have any planets, points or angles in the fixed signs of Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius or Leo, these points are going to be activated at this lunation. The planet Mars is known to bring action wherever he transits, and at this time he's going to reactivate this square between Saturn in Aquarius and Uranus in Taurus. This aspect was first activated around the 14th of February. Think back to what was happening around that time, even a few days or a week after. What started in your life? What challenges were you facing at that time? Well, Mars is going to reactivate this square, so you may have to deal with the same issues that came up at that time. This might be a time for you to negotiate or conclude those issues. It might be time for you to compromise. So Venus is also going to reactivate this square a few days after. Unfortunately, Venus squaring Saturn tends to bring breakups in relationships. So if your relationship has not been working out in the past few months, this might be the time that your partner decides to call it quits. Also keep in mind that this aspect is going to come exact on the 29th of December 2021. So if the issues are not completely settled and compromised and negotiated at this lunation, we may have to come and deal with these same issues at the last square at the end of this year. If you enjoy the content of this discussion, I would appreciate it if you give this video a like. Also share this video on your social media or with your friends and family. You just never know who needs to hear this message. You'll be helping them and helping me grow my channel. I truly appreciate that. Also make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you may be notified whenever I upload new videos. All these are fixed signs, so people are going to stand their ground. They're going to strongly defend their beliefs and ideas. So don't expect anyone to be willing to compromise and negotiate at this time. This is not changeable energy. This is stuck and fixed energy. So it's going to be very difficult to get through to people. Saturn in Aquarius is restrictive. He has old ideas, old traditions, old rules and regulations, and he wants to keep things the same way. Uranus in Taurus is rebellious and he wants to revolt because he's tired of the same old rules. They're not making sense to him anymore. He wants to shake things up and try something new and original. Mars in Leo is passionate and has a huge ego. He's more passionate because he's conjunct his lover, Venus. So Mars just wants to hang out with his lover. He wants to party and have some fun. He also wants to make decisions based on what he feels, what's in his heart. It's going to be really hard to make compromises with Mars because Mars wants to be the center of attention. He wants to shine for a change. So essentially, the lover in us is tired of the rules and the regulations and the isolation. People are fed up. They just want to enjoy their summer, have some fun, and perhaps start a hot summer fling. So we may have to compromise or agree to disagree and just realize that we may not have everything just as we want it, not at this time. So no matter what challenges we face at this lunation, Neptune is going to exactly trine the moon a few days later, and this is going to bring some type of healing and perhaps some new insights. Let's keep in mind that there is a conjunction of Venus and Mars at around 15 degrees of Leo. This is going to increase our ego. Passions are going to run high. Conflict and arguments may be inevitable at this time. I would like to talk about Neptune, who's transiting retrograde at 23 degrees of Pisces. The retrograde transit began on the 25th of June 2021. It will end on the 1st of December 2021. When a big planet like Neptune turns retrograde, this becomes the reality checkpoint. We have to snap out of our delusions and illusions. On that day, some of us may have been hit with the reality of situations in the house that Neptune rules, the house of Pisces. That means some of us began to see things clearly. The pink glasses came off. Our delusions and fantasies became blatantly clear. We can no longer deceive ourselves or others. We have to see situations for what they truly are. You're going to feel this retrograde much more intensely if you have a planet at 23 degrees of Pisces or on the opposite end at 23 degrees of Virgo. Example, if Neptune rules your 7th house, your partner could have been cheating on you. You could have been having an affair and you were totally in denial or delusional about the whole issue. Neptune turning retrograde might have been the time when you decided to see things as they were. So on the day that Neptune turned retrograde, you may have been presented with some facts, some undeniable truths. That day could have been the day when you decided to see your relationship for what it was and your partner for who he truly was. So accepting that your partner is unfaithful, this could help you have a new beginning with emotional healing. You could start healing your heart after accepting the truth. Perhaps Neptune rules your 9th house. You're an author and you've written this wonderful book that you think is going to be definitely a bestseller, but you haven't found anyone to publish your book. You've been to 4 publishers and they all turned you down. When Neptune stations retrograde and the pink glasses come off, You might have to accept that you don't have a bestseller and your dreams of becoming a best-selling author could be ended right here. You may have to accept the truth that it's not going to happen and it's time to get a real job so that you can pay your bills. It's time to change what you feel or believe about your writing skills or abilities. Once we're off the Neptune spell, it's easier to trust our emotions and our gut feelings. On the positive, Neptune retrograde can make us become more intuitive and psychic. This is going to make it easier for you to make wise decisions at this lunation. It will make it easier for us to see things clearly. Some of the things that we couldn't really make out or see clearly when the planet was transiting forward. So if you're single and you're looking for a partner, don't try and date somebody for their potential. People always show us who they truly are right from the beginning. Accept that truth and keep it moving. So perhaps when Neptune was transiting direct, you may have met somebody and started dating them for their potential. Neptune is going to make you realize that you should never date somebody for their potential. People always show us who they truly are in the beginning, from the start. But some of us want to add sugar and spice to the situation. Perhaps a little makeup here, perhaps a decoration, a flower there, or something to make the situation just seem a little bit more attractive. Don't do that. Don't make excuses or try and dilute the truth. The situation is what it is. Because if he's a drug addict or a drunk, he's exactly just that. You can't fix them. A cheater or a loser is exactly that. Your love is not going to make them change. They are who they are. A wife beater or a thief is exactly just that. Your patience and love is not going to change them. It's time to accept the truth, draw boundaries, and keep it moving. He's an emotional sign and tends to make decisions based on how they feel, what's in their heart. Unfortunately, if you're still under that Neptune spell, it's going to be very difficult for you to make wise decisions at this time. Another major effect of the Cancer new moon is delays, restrictions, major setbacks, major disappointments with love or money because of the heavily aspected Venus. Specifically the opposition to Saturn and the square to Uranus. But the positive influence of the trine to Uranus is going to give us awareness, intuition, and inventiveness to overcome potential problems. So who will feel this new moon intensely? The sign of Cancer, of course, and the other cardinal signs. The sign of Capricorn is going to feel it by opposition. The sign Aries and Libra are going to have a square aspect to this lunation. So check to see if you have anything at 18 degrees of these signs. And if you were born on the 9th of July, a few days, 3 days before or after this date, you're going to feel this intensely because you're going to have this new moon energy in your solar return chart. So that means everything I said in this discussion applies to you. So go back and listen from the start until the end. You're going to want to have this information because you're going to have major brand new beginnings in the house of Cancer. This could be the time that you sign a brand new contract that changes your whole life. You could begin a major relationship or you could end a long-term relationship. It all just depends on how this new moon is aspecting you in your own natal birth chart. So the 5 things that we need to know. Number 1, there is a Venus and Mars conjunction at this lunation. It's not exact at this lunation, but it will be on the 13th of July. So Venus is at around 15 degrees of Leo and Mars is around 17 degrees of Leo. This is a passionate conjunction of the two cosmic lovers, Venus and Mars. This will increase our desire for intimacy. If you're not in a relationship, you're going to really want to be with someone at this time. We're going to experience an increased desire for intimacy and sexual satisfaction. Single people are going to be out on the prowl and they're going to be very forward and direct about their intentions and also about getting their needs met. This is officially mating season. Some really hot summer flings may begin at this time. So if you already have a partner, things could get really passionate. You will be driven by an intense need for sexual satisfaction. Keep in mind that we still have challenging aspects to Saturn and Uranus. This primal urge to reproduce may become raw and aggressive. You might make others feel uncomfortable. So be careful. You don't want to face a sexual harassment charge. The positive part of this aspect is that it could make you very attractive, irresistible, and charismatic. So don't worry about attracting a potential partner. It's going to be very easy at this time. Just go out there and have some fun. This is also an excellent new moon for you to start a creative project, something that you're truly deeply passionate about, something that requires a lot of energy. Number 2, Venus opposite Saturn. Venus is at 15 degrees of Leo and opposing Saturn at around 11 or 12 degrees of Aquarius. The Saturn trine to the North Node at 10 degrees of Gemini is still supporting a well thought out decisions that solidify our future. The Venus-Saturn opposition is a challenging aspect. This aspect could bring sadness and loneliness because of delays and unexpected limitations. This aspect could affect your love relationships and your finances. So if you have high expectations from your lover or a project, things might not work out the way you want, despite all the energy and effort that you put into it. Your lover or your business partner might not appreciate your efforts. So in a romantic relationship situation, maybe the guy is just not that into you. So don't be pressured to feel like you have to do extra things to make the relationship work. On the other hand, if you're in a long-term relationship, this might be the time where you just need to give your partner some space and you just keep doing the things that you do every day for your partner to show them that you still care and love them. They may not appreciate it now, but they're going to appreciate it later. This is also an excellent time to take some time for yourself and keep busy. Do some preparation work. Do some organization or house cleaning. Clean the garage. Just keep yourself busy and occupied. It's also a great time to organize your bills or pay off some bills if you can. At least this way you know exactly where you stand when it comes to a situation that you can perhaps control your finances. Relationship issues are going to eventually sort themselves out. Number 3, Venus square Uranus. Venus is at 15 degrees of Leo and Uranus is now at 14 degrees of Taurus. This is a challenging aspect that can test the stability of our relationships. And this can happen through unexpected urges or events. So if things have cooled down or become boring in your relationship, don't be surprised if your partner has a sudden need for freedom and excitement. This can test your patience with a loved one, and it could also lead to wandering eyes. So if things have become boring in the bedroom, this is an excellent time for you to do something to spice things up if you want to keep your partner. So if you have a healthy relationship, there will be no major drama, especially if you have an open-minded partner. If you're single and dating, don't be surprised if you become attracted to somebody who is unusual or eccentric in some way, perhaps a foreigner. This could be they're different because they're of a different race. Also avoid taking risks if you're meeting someone you know nothing about. Also keep in mind that any relationship that begins under a Venus-Uranus square will begin very quickly, but it could also end just as quickly. So this energy is not conducive for people looking for a long-term relationship. This energy does not bring lasting relationships. So if you're looking for a quick summer fling, this might be the time for you to look for a partner. It's very likely that you meet someone who is also open to a non-committed relationship. The Venus-Mars conjunction that is also happening at this lunation makes it very clear that things could start out really passionate and really heated. Things could start out really heated and passionate at this time, but they could also end just as quickly. So if you're open to a non-committed, non-long-term relationship, this might be the energy for you. But if you're looking for a long-term relationship, you're going to be very disappointed. And number 4, Saturn square Uranus. This is an ongoing challenging aspect of the year. It was exact the first time in February and again on the 14th of June, and is going to finally conclude on the 29th of December 2021. So this is not new energy. This is not new energy. It's always going to be in the background. This square aspect brings restrictions and limitations. Some people need to be presented with challenges in order for them to make changes or to make things happen in their life. So this might have a positive long-term effect on some people. For example, if you're overweight, you could decide to make restrictive changes to your eating habits. This will eventually help you lose weight and you're going to be much healthier. Others, challenges could be faced in your marriage, your work, or your home life. So it all just depends on which houses are being aspected in your own natal birth chart. This can be a very frustrating and intense time. If you stay patient, open-minded, and flexible, what seems like challenges right now could turn out to be opportunities for you to rid yourself of unwanted negative things or restrictions that are limiting you in your life. Number 5, New Moon Sextile Uranus. The new moon is at 18 degrees of Cancer and Uranus is at 14 degrees of Taurus. This is a harmonious and positive aspect. It will bring positive change, pleasant surprises, and stimulating encounters. It gives freedom and willingness to get out of your comfort zone and try something new and exciting. Some people will feel more comfortable expressing their more flamboyant, creative, or kinky side of their personality. It's time to wave your freak flag. It's also an excellent time to meet people who are somewhat unorthodox, perhaps a bit eccentric, or from a different cultural or ethnic background than your own. So you will have increased self-awareness, intuition, flashes of insight, curiosity, and inventiveness, allowing you to take advantage of new discoveries and take full advantage of unexpected opportunities. Taking the opposite view or making changes in your life will not be as disruptive as it can sometimes be. You will find new ways of doing things that leads to greater efficiency. As you can see, this new moon has a lot of different energy. You just have to know when and where to use it. There's opportunities for excitement, romance, passion, and adventure. At the same time, if this energy is not used properly, it can bring major complications in your life. Let's look at the Venus-Mars conjunction. This conjunction is happening at 19 degrees of Leo on the 13th of July 2021. So if you have a planet, a point, or an angle at this degree, this is going to be really activated in your chart. You're definitely going to have something happen. The last Venus-Mars conjunction took place on the 19th of August 2019 at 4 degrees of Virgo. So look back to that time and see what happened then. This is similar energy that will be activated next week. This is essentially a new moon for Venus and Mars. When these two conjunct, something new happens in the area of relationships or money. This is a window for new beginnings in soulmate relationships or twin flames. This will impact you more if you have any planets, points, or angles in the fixed signs. That is 19 degrees of Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, or Scorpio. So look in your natal birth chart and see if anything is being activated. Mars has a 2-year cycle, so it takes him a while to meet up with Venus or Venus to meet up with him. Once Mars catches up with Venus, he's not going to let her go. He wants her and he has to dominate her. And Venus has been looking forward for Mars to come home. When these two astro lovers conjunct, it's very likely that people meet their soulmate and begin a very fated romantic relationship. Mars is a masculine planet, and transiting in the sign of Leo means that he will be the more dominant energy. Venus is the feminine planet. Unfortunately, she's not as powerful in the sign of Leo, so expect masculine energy to be much more dominant. The Martian approach to relationships emphasizes dominance, superiority, rather than love and collaboration, or peace and balance. If you're already in a committed relationship, this might be the time for you to spice things up in the bedroom. Things could get really hot and passionate, and your lover is going to appreciate you even more for taking some action. If you've been single for a long time, I suggest that you get out and about. This might be the time that you meet your true love. New romantic fated relationships tend to start when these two lovers meet, because most likely your partner is also looking for you. It's like a predestined agreement to meet at a certain time and location, and this tends to happen when these two astro lovers conjunct. This conjunction only happens every 2 years, so it's something that you don't want to let pass by. Take full advantage of this conjunction. Go out there and find your soulmate or your twin flame. He or she is out there looking for you, while you're also out there looking for them.